He was born on the edge of two worlds, with the ocean breeze of Hawaii in his hair and the weight of legacy in his blood. No one looked at the boy named Barack Hussein Obama and thought, that child will one day lead the most powerful nation on earth. But fate had other plans. Born on August 4, 1961, in Honolulu, Barack's life began in complexity. His father, Barack Obama Sr., was a brilliant but troubled economist from Kenya. His mother, Ann, a curious and idealistic white woman from Kansas, was a free spirit. Their unlikely love bloomed during college, but couldn't withstand the storm of distance and differences. Barack Sr. left when young Obama was just a toddler. He would only meet his father once more in his life. Growing up, Barack often felt like a puzzle piece that didn't quite fit. In Indonesia, where his mother later remarried, he saw poverty up close and learned how fragile life could be. Chickens in the street, power outages during dinner, and his mother waking him before dawn to study American school books, all of it carved resilience into him. When Barack returned to Hawaii to live with his grandparents, he was 10, a boy caught between cultures, colors, and continents. He struggled with identity. Was he black, white, American, African, or something in between? In high school, he was smart but distant. Friends called him Barry, a nickname he later dropped to embrace his roots. He smoked, drifted, and questioned the world around him. But behind the laid-back demeanor was a mind searching for meaning. He found it in books. The works of Malcolm X, James Baldwin, and W.E.B. Du Bois spoke to him. They didn't give answers, they gave questions, and questions lit the fire. Barack attended Occidental College in Los Angeles, but transferred to Columbia University in New York. There, walking the crowded streets of Harlem, he began to see the injustice woven into the fabric of the country. Homelessness, racism, the forgotten. He couldn't just look away anymore. After college, he became a community organizer on the south side of Chicago, a job most Ivy League grads would have scoffed at. He worked in churches and housing projects, fighting to give the voiceless a voice. The pay was low, but the purpose was high. It was in Chicago that he met Michelle Robinson, a brilliant lawyer from the city's South Side. She was skeptical of him at first, too smooth, too idealistic. But Barack wasn't just charming, he was driven. They fell in love over late-night conversations about dreams, duty, and change. Barack decided to attend Harvard Law School, where he shattered another glass ceiling. In 1990, he became the first black president of the Harvard Law Review, a position watched closely by power brokers across the country. But Barack didn't chase money. He returned to Chicago, teaching constitutional law and working for civil rights. By the late 1990s, he entered politics. In 1996, he was elected to the Illinois State Senate. But politics was a brutal teacher. In 2000, he ran for Congress and lost badly. His ego was bruised. His bank account was drained. Friends questioned whether he had what it took. Then came 2004. He was running for the U.S. Senate, a long shot. But then he was invited to give the keynote address at the Democratic National Convention. And on that night, America listened. "There's not a liberal America and a conservative America," he said. "There's the United States of America." The crowd erupted. The nation took notice. He wasn't just a senator in the making. He was something else, something bigger. In 2008, against all odds, Barack Obama ran for president. He faced Hillary Clinton, a political powerhouse. The battle was fierce, but Barack's message of hope and change resonated with a country exhausted by war, recession, and cynicism. His speeches were electric, his presence was magnetic, and his story, the child of a Kenyan father and a Kansas mother, rising through grit and grace, was the story of a new America. On November 4, 2008, the world watched history unfold. Barack Obama became the 44th President of the United States, and the first black man to hold the office. That night, tears streamed down the faces of people across the nation. In Atlanta, in Chicago, in Harlem, In rural towns, generations who had lived through segregation and silence now saw the impossible made real. But winning was only the beginning. When Obama entered the White House, he inherited a country in crisis. The economy was collapsing, banks were failing, millions had lost their homes and jobs. He responded with a massive economic stimulus package, controversial but crucial. He bailed out the auto industry, he stabilized the financial system. Slowly, painfully, the economy began to recover. In foreign policy, he ended combat operations in Iraq and hunted the world's most wanted terrorist. In 2011, under his watch, Osama bin Laden was killed in a daring Navy SEAL raid in Pakistan, a moment that unified a fractured nation, if only briefly. At home, he tackled health care, a battle every president had avoided or lost. With fierce opposition, lies, and threats swirling around him, Obama pressed forward. In 2010, he signed the Affordable Care Act, known as Obamacare, giving millions access to health insurance. But with every step forward came a pushback. A storm of racism, conspiracy theories, and political division raged. From birth certificate rumors to being called a socialist and worse, Obama faced an onslaught. The rise of the Tea Party, gridlock in Congress, and a Republican Senate blocked much of his agenda in his second term. Still, he persevered. He supported same-sex marriage, re-established relations with Cuba, expanded clean energy, and spoke openly about gun violence, racism, and police brutality. He didn't just govern, he led. But leadership came at a cost. Gray hair crept in. The smile, still bright, was more measured now. He had seen the best and worst of the American soul. When Donald Trump, the face of the birther movement and political chaos, succeeded him in 2016, it felt like a national whiplash. But Obama, ever the constitutionalist, facilitated a peaceful transition. He left office with high approval ratings and a legacy both praised and criticized. Supporters saw progress, critics saw overreach. But no one could deny this, he had changed the story. After leaving the White House, Obama didn't vanish. He launched the Obama Foundation, focused on leadership and civic engagement. He and Michelle inked a multi-million-dollar deal with Netflix, telling stories that mattered. His memoir, A Promised Land, became a bestseller, peeling back the curtain on his journey. But perhaps his greatest legacy wasn't just policy, it was what he represented, possibility. He inspired a generation of young people to believe they could be more, that their names, accents, skin tones, or zip codes didn't define their destiny. He brought dignity to a job drowning in cynicism. And though he couldn't fix everything, he never stopped believing in the promise of America. Barack Obama wasn't a perfect man, and he never claimed to be. He made mistakes. He wrestled with compromise. He felt the sting of disappointment, but in the quiet moments, walking the White House lawn at night, reading letters from struggling Americans, raising two daughters under the national spotlight, he held on to hope. Because hope, he believed, was not naive, it was necessary. And in the story of Barack Obama, the boy from Hawaii with an absent father and a dream, hope became history. Like, share, and subscribe if Barack Obama's journey inspired you. Don't forget to like the video, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe for more powerful life stories every week.